Elizabeth asks, this question isn't really related to eating vegetables, but more of an overall eating concern. I have a little girl that is willing to try a big variety of food that takes extremely small bites of everything. Breakfast might be a quarter to a half of an egg. How do you increase overall intake? Wonderful question. Okay, let's kind of explore that from a couple different viewpoints, just for everyone listening here to benefit, because everybody's got kids in the back of their mind that have trouble with volume. We all know kids like that. First of all, we've got to rule out any medical issues like slow stomach emptying or any sort of discomfort that prevents a child from taking in a lot of volume. But if they can take in a lot of volume of other foods, and not foods that are absorbed quickly and move right through the body, I'm not talking about apple juice, I'm talking about foods that have some weight to them. Can they eat a decent size sandwich? Or if they're, here's a good example. If their favorite food is goldfish, because we all know kids love goldfish, meaning the little Pepperidge Farm ones, can they eat a good handful of goldfish? If they can, that's a decent sized volume for a young child. Well, if they're taking little tiny bites just to satisfy that family rule of we always take a bite of everything, that's okay, because the more small bites they take over time, the more they'll gradually start taking more. If they're taking small bites, but they really like the food, but they can't manage a bigger bite, I would question their oral motor skills. I would wonder if perhaps that child, has a tongue tie or a weakness or can't move their tongue in such a way that they can manipulate a bigger piece of food. I would ask myself, what foods can they manipulate and swallow really easily? If they're soft, squishable foods like macaroni and cheese or even a McDonald's chicken nugget, I always say, you've heard me say it before, but those are just pre-chewed chicken. Like you don't even have to teeth for those kind of foods. So those are easy to take bigger bites of, swallow, propel back, and swallow comfortably. If they're having trouble propelling the food back, I would want them assessed for tongue thrust, because any child that pushes their tongue forward instead of slightly upward to the alveolar ridge, those kids can't propel a large bolus of food back safely to be swallowed. So they will limit the size of what they eat because they don't feel safe with a bigger size chewed up bolus to propel back. So there are a lot of different things, Elizabeth, that you can do. But finally, if the issue is that the child won't actually take a bite off of something, like let's say that they're holding a, see if I can grab something as an example. Here, okay, see this little card here? Let's pretend that this is a sandwich. So let's say that they just kind of nibble on the sandwich and they won't really take a decent sized bite. As long as there are no motor skills that are in the way or GI issues or perhaps even a sensory issue, I have a really good video on my YouTube channel that I'm going to post in the main thread here for you. And I'll also include it on this video as well, up in this corner right here. And it's all about what I call little chipmunks, or kids that tend to take a lot of little bites and they even stuff a little bit in their cheeks because they can't propel it back to be swallowed. And there's some tips there that might help you with that. So hopefully that is good information for you. It's tricky when I can't see the child, but that should get you started.